of you. Everyone, there was enough on everyone's table to start with. If not, there's one on the ground, I'm sure. Doesn't have to be good. You're just shading, so it doesn't have to. And you can always share. You're only going to use it for like 30 seconds. All right, here we go. So 1/2 times 3/4. And in math, whenever you see the multiplication symbol, you can assume that it means 1/2 of 3/4. Of in math means to multiply. So whenever you see the word of, that would mean to multiply. So another way to say this is 1/2 of 3/4. Okay, so let's act like this is a brownie pan. And someone comes up, you're at a bake sale, and they say, I'm going to buy half of your pan. So in this instance, how much is in our pan? 3/4. So watch what I do. Don't do it yet, or you're going to make a silly mistake. So I'm going to split it into fourths this way. Not cube fourths. I'm going to split it into fourths this way. Everybody with me? So everyone should be doing the same. And then you want to shade in with your colored pencil 3/4 of it. It doesn't have to be a crazy good shade, just so you know how much of the pan is left. So you have 3/4 of your brownie pan left. All right. And they walk up and they say, I'm going to buy half of what's left of your brownie pan. So basically, you're going to cut what's left in half. Now, one mistake I don't want you to make, you're cutting the whole pan in half. Even though this isn't here anymore, you're still cutting the whole pan, the original pan in half. All right? Michelle, how many pieces of brownie are they going to get if they buy half of what's left?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Can you say it again?
So if they're going to buy half of what's left, how many pieces of brownie are they actually buying?
6.
They only get half.
Oh, 3.
3. They're going to buy this piece, and this piece. Do you all agree with me? Okay. So Alex, what fraction of the whole original pan did they buy?
They bought.
Careful, the whole pan. Yep.
They bought.
Very good. That's just a simple mistake. We're still talking about the whole pan, but they bought 3/8 of the original pan. So we can say 1/2 times 3/4 is equal to 3/8. Everybody good on that one? Yes, ma'am.
Can't you just do 1/2 3 is 3 and then
You totally can, but you definitely want to know why that works. And this explains why that works. There is a question on your test where you have to be able to model multiplication. All right, so let's do the next one. 2/3 times 4/5, or 2/3 of 4/5. So Zachary, how much is in the pan right now?
There is 2/3 of cupcakes.
No.
No,
2/3 of 4/5.
Oh, I mean 4/5.
4/5 of, okay, I'm changing it to cupcakes. I like it. 4/5. So I'm going to split this into fifths, which only require 4 lines. And then I'm going to shade in 4 of them. All right, then Lily. The person comes and they said, all right, I'll buy 2/3 of your pan. So I'm going to split it into thirds, right, Lily? Okay. How many pieces are those people actually going to buy? Or how many cupcakes, let's say? Lily? 8. They're going to buy this third and this third, which makes a total of 8 cupcakes. All right? Jay, 8 out of how many pieces, though? Or how many cupcakes to start with? 8 out of how many was there originally?
8 out of 15.
8 out of 15. Perfect. So they bought 8/15 of the cupcakes. Is everybody good so far on the modeling part of it? All right. So let's come up with an algorithm. Algorithm is a fancy word for a rule. In math, we call it an algorithm. So let's come up with an algorithm. If we have A over B times C over D, someone raise their hand and tell me what the rule or the algorithm is to multiplying fractions. Actually, talk about at your table first. Come up with a rule at your table. How do you multiply fractions? Alright, Ben, what rule did you come up with? Or algorithm?
Top turns top, bottom.
Perfect. Or better words, numerators times numerators. So all you're saying is A times C and B times D. That's your rule, or your algorithm. Pretty basic stuff. Or numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Yes, ma'am.
So like if you did A times C, it wouldn't be AC, it would just be A times C.
Yeah, you could say it's AC over BD, or you could say it's CA over DB. No matter. Any way you look at it, that's the nice thing about multiplication. All right, do the bottom two at your table. You need to model both of them. Do the bottom two at your table. Let's go over the modeling because that seems to be tripping some people up. All right, so in this band you have 2 sevens, so you automatically should have split this into sevens, which only requires 6 lines. And I would have shaded in 2 of them. And then they're buying 3/5 of it, so I would split it into fifths. And then they bought that fifth, they're buying this fifth, and they're buying this fifth. So George, for a total, they bought what?
They bought
630 fifths.
Oh yeah.
630 fifths should have been your answer. Don't let the modeling trip you up. Just take it step by step. This one, your answer should have been 5/24. Right? Yeah. 5/24. Questions on multiplication? All right, let's go on to division. Division is new for all of you. And a lot of you kind of know the rule just from those daily questions, but today you're going to learn why the rule works. So, let's act like this is a bag of popcorn, okay? Bag of popcorn. Everybody with me? And I'm picking on George's family just because I know how many people are in George's family, so it just works. All right, so we have a half a bag of popcorn. So everyone, split your bag in half. All right, so George and his family goes to the movie, and his mom has a half a bag of popcorn. Everybody with me? But his mom is like, I should probably split it with the 4 people in my family. That's the right thing to do. So there's a half a bag being divided by 4 people. Is everybody with me? Everybody understands that, right? So Miss Mac says, okay, this part can go to George. This part goes to Justin. This part goes to Mom. And this part goes to Dad. All right? So everybody in the family got a little bit of the popcorn. What fraction of the popcorn did each person get? What fraction of the original bag of popcorn did each person get? Maggie?
1/8.
1/8. They each got 1 out of the original 8. Does everybody understand that? So a half divided by 4 is 1/8. And we technically would write that as a half divided by 4 over 1 is 1/8. Because 4 can turn into a fraction by just putting 1 under it. So you just need to remember that. So that's kind of interesting. We started with a half, we divided it by 4, and now we have an 8. Interesting. Everybody with me? All right. So now let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say you're going to a fabric store, and you're buying half a yard, okay? So they cut you off a half a yard. So here's your half a yard of fabric you bought, okay? Now, it takes a fourth of a yard. It takes a fourth of a yard to make a curtain, let's say. It takes a fourth of a yard to make a curtain. You have half a yard. It takes a fourth to make a curtain. How many curtains can you make? You have half a yard, but it takes a fourth to make a curtain. So how many curtains can you make? Talk about this one at your table.
2.
I heard 4 and I heard 2. Raise your hand if you think it's 2. Okay. Someone explain explain to me why it's 2. Why is 2 correct? Willa?
Because a fourth plus a fourth is a fourth plus equals a half.
Right, because a fourth plus a fourth is 2 fourths, and so we know that there's 1 curtain, 2 curtain, because there's only 2 fourths in a half. Very good. So 1/2 divided by 1/4 is 2. Interesting. 1/2 divided by 1/4 is 2. Or you could say 1/2 divided by 1/4 equals 2 over 1, or 4 over 2, because 4 divided by 2 is 2, so either way you look at it. All right, at your table, come up with an algorithm. Come up with a rule for dividing fractions. So A over B divided by C over D. Try to figure it out. Come up with something. Talk about it at your table.
I think it is, yeah,
Let's talk about this. Who thinks they have a rule? Just try. It may not be right, which is totally fine. Destiny's table. Anybody can go.
multiply the denominator of the first one times the numerator of the second one.
Okay, hold on. Let's see that. So you're saying B times C? So 2 times 4 gives you 8. Okay, I agree with that. And then what?
And then that's your answer, I guess.
Okay. So you're saying you multiply B times C. What do you do with A and B, though? Destiny?
You cross multiply.
Okay. So you're saying B times C made 8, and you put that on the denominator. And then you said D times A made 1, and you put that on the numerator. So you're saying A and D go on top, and then C and B go on top.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if it works here. So 1 times 2 made 2, 4 times 1 made 4, and then 4 divided by 2 was 2, right? Yeah, guys, it's just cross multiplying. That's all it is. Now, that's typically not how you're going to see it done, but that's one way to do it. Another way that I'm going to say a lot is what I call the KFC method. KFC. You're going to go with some scratch. Just kidding. All right, so the first one is keep. So I'm just going to do the one above. So you're going to keep the first fraction, which is 1/2. Keep the first. You're going to flip the second one, or take the reciprocal, as we call it. You're going to take the reciprocal. So if it's 1/4, you're going to flip it to 4 over 1. And then your last step is change division to multiplication. And then you just multiply straight across. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. Either method works. The KFC just makes it a little bit more organized. Cross multiplying can get confusing if you forget which one goes on top. But both work. Either one of those algorithms or strategies is A-OK. Whichever way you want to look at it. All right. So I'm going to allow you to work on your homework. I'm going to allow you to work on your homework if you get these bottom 2 correct. You need to model the first one and solve it. You don't need to model the second one. Model the first one. You don't need to model the second one. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Instead of starting on the homework, after you get these done, you'll work on the mastery check. Yes.